Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, Mama and I are so happy to share with you today what we've been working on this week. These are fun projects, so let's get started right away. Welcome to our YouTube channel. For project number 1, we are drilling holes in plates. For that, you need a diamond drill bit. I found these 2 examples on Amazon and I will leave links for those, but we bought ours at Harbor Freight. I don't know the difference in quality, but the ones we got at Harbor Freight are excellent. They did cost quite a bit more than the Amazon ones. I have water in this dish and I am holding my drill at a very deep angle so that I can get just a curve started, and then I can tilt my drill straight up as I go. And I do this several times. It makes a little slot, like a trough, for your drill to stay in. If you don't have that, it just slides all around. You can see here several times it slides around, and that's what it looks like. It's a little donut that you get started. And after I get that donut started, I do maneuver my drill around in a circle. Because I don't want to break the plate, I don't use a lot of pressure. I just let that diamond drill bit do its work. I have a rubber stopper over my drain, and I'm putting it right on top of that too, so that gives it a little bit of cushion, and it's not against something hard. And also it gives my drill bit a place to go once it gets through the plate. I thought I would show you trying it on a different surface rather than a sink. You just have to have some kind of liquid. I have a friend who uses coconut oil, and she says it works great, but you have to use liquid so that it won't get too hot and crack the plate. Belgravia is the transfer book I'm using. This is from Iron Orchid Designs 2026 summer release. There are 90 transfers in there. You can find Iron Orchid Designs' full line of products on our website at spindlemountainmercantile.com. And what better to put in a little plate but a little plate? You can see the one I did at the top. Originally, I was going to put these 2 plates together, but then I found that other kidney-shaped dish, and I thought I wanted something with that instead. I'm making a miniature of something that I love making, and that's a 2-tiered plate tray. Somebody called them a cake stand. I don't know how you'd fit a cake on there unless it was a bundt cake with a hole in the middle, because it has that finial in the top usually when you get a tiered plate stand. What do y'all call them? I'm adding just one little tiny floral that I cut up, and this went on really easy. I did clean these real good, and then I wiped them with rubbing alcohol, 91%. I love layering transfers. It gives you so many more design variations. Now, full transparency, when I sealed these, I don't know what happened, but they bubbled. A lot of times when that happens, I like it. It makes it look like old and crackled, but it didn't look right on this. So I did take that off, and I haven't sealed it again because I'm afraid it was my spray paint. I'm going to buy a brand new can of gloss Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover. I hope that will fix the problem. I don't know if something was too hot and something was too cold when I did it, but I just don't want to take a chance. Now I'm using Rub and Buff on this very long bolt that I got out of my sweet husband's stash, and he has a bunch of finials too. I think this was actually a drawer pull. It doesn't fit on the bolt to screw it in, but we can fix that too. I will leave a link for the Rub and Buff I found on Amazon. It's a 5-pack and it was around $23, $25. The shade I'm using is called Autumn Gold, and it's kind of a cross between copper and rose gold. It's super pretty. It's my new favorite. This bolt had a rounded head like a screw would have, and it was too big to fit under the plate without making the plate wobble. So I took it outside and just held it against my husband's grinder. It's like this big wheel that's made out of a rock that spins, and it just ground it down, and I made it flat. So now that it it doesn't hit the table. I didn't even think about looking at the size of bolts before I drilled this hole. I just always use the same drill bit. So that's why it's so big. It's okay if it's too big. You can make it not wobbly by using washers and nuts and making sure they're super tight. But next time I would find the bolt first and then use the appropriate sized diamond drill bit. I painted these first, and of course, when I wiped them a lot because I didn't wait for them to dry, it's gonna rub off some. That's okay, I just touched it up with a little paintbrush. So the order in which I put these was bolt, washer, plate, washer, nut. Then there's a section of bolt that goes up to how high I wanted the next plate, and I put another nut. Washer, plate, washer, nut, and then I put the finial on top of that. I used my needle nose pliers to get it really snug, but you don't want it too tight because it will break the glass or the plates. You could use rubber washers to avoid that, but you still don't want it to be too tight. Just tight enough so it doesn't wobble and it's secure and won't come loose. I used two-part epoxy to attach the finial because it was way too big for that bolt, and I just filled the finial with it and let it kind of drip down, and when it dripped down, it covered that nut, so it made the nut not look quite so industrial. And then I used a brush to paint some more rub and buff on that. Now, I didn't paint it until after I took the after pictures because I had to wait for that two-part epoxy to dry. So when you see those pictures, keep that in mind. That's why you'll see that little clear part underneath the finial. I took a picture of this little plate stand in my hand so you can see how small it is. And it is just the cutest little thing. I think I will probably ask for just as much as I would a bigger one because it's that cute. In the comments, let me know if you agree. Mama does. Project number 2. So, Mama, tell them about the new mold.
Cadre.
Cadre. You're supposed to roll
And
your car?
this is special because we want some small arts to go on these birdhouses, and they have one here.
To help the molds release, we use tapioca flour. I think it makes smaller pock marks than cornstarch. Mama, where'd you put the clay when you got here?
I gave it to you.
Why would you do such a thing?
No, I didn't. I put it here. I forget that you don't know where you put things either, but this was me. I put it there. Maybe bring some scissors to cut. You just don't want me to see how dull your scissors are.
These are kitchen scissors. These are our pizza cutting scissors. I gotta keep them sharp because they cut, and my scissors that I buy for 68 cents each on Amazon, they don't work very well.
Now, these molds, if you haven't used one, they have a patented little lip-like thing around the edge that defines the design. So you just slide it to fill up the body of the mold, and it cuts right off. You have to make it super flat. Flex it a little bit, and look at that. Look at that. Let gravity do the work. But you can help it. Look at that.
Mama changed up the placement of the molds on each birdhouse until she figured out exactly what design she wanted. Then she was ready to glue them on using Tight Bond Quick and Thick.
You can get this glue at any hardware store, but there will be a link to Amazon. If you purchase something using Heather's information, then she gets a small stipend. Doesn't raise your price.
I think my mama says that little Amazon spiel better than I do, don't y'all? You are the goat. And you know it's a good thing when people call you the goat. It doesn't mean you're an old goat, right?
A goat?
A goat.
I object to that. I've never been called a goat. An ass a couple of times.
Mama, it means greatest of all time. GOAT.
Oh, I never heard that. Okay, give me some more glue. we're using Crinoline to paint them. You need to paint them while they're still wet. Less chance of cracking. If you have brush strokes, use a mister.
And probably paint that's not contaminated like our Crinoline. But let me explain something about these brush strokes that I like. When you put a decorative top over them, like dark wax or oil, it shows that off more. And there's more texture.
Well, you just told me that, and that's...
But I didn't tell them, these people.
When you put wax on it and you wax those brush strokes, they really show up. And if you've done them right, it's a beautiful finish. If you haven't done them right, it's not very good. Period. Also, if you ever drop your paint on the floor, don't pick it up. Just get a new thing of paint. And because if you don't want brush strokes, you don't want to use that contaminated paint.
Or, and just bear with me here, you can scoop back as much of that paint into the container as you can and embrace those pieces of dust and dirt and whatever else got contaminated in it, because people pay good money to put things like sand and salt wash in their paint. And here we got some of that grit and texture for free.
But if you do have brush strokes, you missed it.
Yep.
Comes out neat.
And if you want to keep your paint clean, pour it into a container to use.
This is an old brush. It has a lot of paint in it. And if you don't want brush strokes, don't use that. Use a nice new brush or a clean brush. If you clean them out after you use them, they'll still be good as new.
Because we used clay-based paint, all of these birdhouses have to be sealed. And you might notice I don't have the third birdhouse. Well, I lost it. That's why. We wanted to try 3 different finishes, but we'll settle for 2. The first one I'm using is old-fashioned milk paint, dark beeswax, and this is also available on our website. I'm using a brush that is not in great condition. It's old and it's been smushed a lot, and I like to use those because, you know, I don't want to ruin 10 brushes, which I probably have actually, but I digress. I am making sure that the beeswax goes into all the little nooks and crannies. And after I get everything covered completely, I'm using a soft, dry cloth. It's just a wash or a hand towel, and I'm wiping back the beeswax. And a lot of it doesn't come off, and that's okay because I want this to look really old and distressed. But I did go back over the edges of the roof line and all of the corners, and I went back over the molds because I want that to have a lot of different texture as far as color goes. One of my favorite products from Debbie's Design Diary is this liquid patina in the color Pennies from Heaven. It is so highly pigmented. It only needs 1 coat to look completely solid. If you're looking for something more like an accent or you want to gild something, then I recommend using it with a dry brush. So you would just dab your brush in it and rub most of the paint off and then use the brush with that tiny bit on it. But I want full coverage, so I'm using it just like I would paint. And I'm not making my brush strokes even. That's not what we're going for with this, like Mama and I talked about earlier. So I'm just kind of going all different directions. And then I tried to do a lot of different swirls. And I am drying this and I am wiping it back with a soft dry towel. Now, if you wipe it back immediately, like if I would have done each side and then wipe it back, I could have gotten a lot more off. But again, that's not what we're going for. We're putting these birdhouses on pedestals, but one of them does not have a wide enough base to help it to stand up. It just topples over. So we're going to use one of these little dishes, and Mama is applying a transfer from the Belgravia.
Heather bought these little saucers at the thrift store. They match another set of teacups that she got at another store. I wonder if somebody in town had them all and they got spread out over time. They're from Japan. Part of the design will show, but Heather said that's okay. So, don't you think it's okay? Sure. It's going to be in the back. Maybe it'll look like bird poop. Oh, stop, Mama.
Oh, Mama. The base is one of those snowmen from Hobby Lobby. I got it on clearance, probably 75% off after the season. I painted it with the same Pennies from Heaven liquid patina from Debbie's DIY. And now we have to seal this. I don't
You don't have to put a top on transfers on china or glass, but Heather's afraid somebody might use it to put the rings on or something and just mess it up.
Mama is using Big Top to seal it, and it's from Debbie's Design Diary. Here's what that looks like on our website at spindlemountainmercantile.com. It did not dry completely before I took the after pictures, so you don't get to see me gluing that snowman onto the saucer. I glued the other birdhouse to a candlestick and also did that off screen. I don't know what color I painted it. I did that a long time ago, but it's really close to apothecary, which is my favorite. These birdhouses are just waiting for these tiny little birds Mama found, but they're at home. So you get to see what they look like before the little birdies move in. Project number 3. For this, we have a throwback, but it's not a way yonder throwback. It's just a back to spring throwback. This is Madeleine from IOD's 2026 spring release, and it's my favorite now. I know I always say I have a favorite, but this is my favorite, I promise. I don't know how to tell you how to get this look on a flower pot. I painted this 2 years ago. It's been outside and inside, outside, inside, and I water it like a regular flower pot, and it just did this. So that's how you do this. I have a video coming up where we redo our bedroom, and there are a few teasers before we get there. There's going to be a lot of teasers actually before we get there, but this is one of them. I have a little miniature rose bush in this that my son gave to me, and usually those last until the roses that are in them when they're purchased die. But for some reason, I got a couple more roses on this one to come in, and I have to keep it. Plus, my kid gave it to me, so, there's that. This went on really easily. I didn't seal it first. I didn't prep it. I mean, it's clean. I didn't wash it though. I just wiped it off because you know how I like distressed stuff and I want to have a distressed look in my bedroom. So right there, did you see where I'm turning that? I put on as much of this that was straight across because that rim doesn't go around very evenly. It's a little bit slanted, so your transfer won't go on straight. And I just put it until it started to curve and I lifted it up. I put my thumb down so I could hold it in position and I just kind of rotated the transfer to the position I wanted. And I only had to do that 2 times. I burnished this with my fingers because I am afraid if I use a plastic on that or the wax paper, it'll just rub off. Now I'm going to use a little bit of wording that I found in, I call it St. Owen, but I think it's like Sanwen. But that doesn't sound like me, does it? So we're calling it St. Owen. This one is going to slant too, and I'm okay with that because it's not a huge difference. I just start in the middle and I work my way to one side and then the other side, and that's how I get it to stay, kind of straight adjacent. If you want your labels to curve, then check out our transfers called traditional pots. And you can find some really neat labels that are made to go on things that have that kind of concave, or I don't know what you would call that. It like if they're little at the bottom and big at the top, or vice versa, like me. I'm big at the bottom and little at the top. I sealed this with Rust-Oleum 2 times Ultra Cover in semi-gloss clear, and it is ready to be put in our new bedroom. We just have to, do the bedroom. Project number 4.
I was in Seneca and I saw a thrift shop, and I have become I do not pass up a thrift shop anymore since I met Heather. And I found this painting on a canvas for $4.50, and I thought that's beautiful, but it would be more beautiful if it had Debbie's do-it-yourself Ameraucana all-in-one paint, which includes a primer, the paint, and the sealer. That means it's a one-step deal. You might have to put 2 coats on something, but when you do that, you're set for life.
The trick to making Debbie's DIY cottage colors work really good is mixing them. And for that, I use this handheld submersible blender that I found on Amazon. I like to use the big cans and it requires a bigger blender, but if you just use those small jars, I would recommend getting one of these. And I do have this, it works great. It's a rechargeable milk frother, also from Amazon. And while it does a good job mixing up those little jars, it's just not enough power for all the paint in the larger cans. While Mama painted that first coat, I went outside in my sweet husband's shop to see if I could find some painter's tape, and all I found was this blue stuff. And of course, the paint went under it. Y'all use frog tape, painter's tape. I am not endorsed by them, but I endorse them. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's so much better. Frog tape is the way to go if you don't want your paint to seep underneath the tape. Mama gave this another coat and then she took it home and let it dry overnight. Now, Mama gets up at the butt crack of dawn, so like 3 hours before me. I get up at 8 o'clock and she's already got the transfers on Lover from Flowers by the Poets, which is in the new 2026 summer collection from IOD. Understand Mama doesn't know how to take videos, but I am so proud of her because she stopped with every step so you guys could see her process when she added these transfers. Didn't she do a great job? Yay, Mama! We did not seal this, but we'll put a little note on it when we sell it at the shop that says to just wash it with to just dust it with a clean towel and no spray or anything. And I love how this turned out. Mama liked it so much, she went and got some more canvases, and my sweet husband's going to put them on some frames so she can make something that looks like this from scratch. Let us know in the comments what you think. Project number 5. This is another preview of something we're doing for our bedroom, and I'm continuing on with Ameraucana from Debbie's Design Diary Cottage color line, which, by the way, is a collaboration with Jamie Ray Vintage. If you haven't checked out Debbie Beard or Jamie Ray Vintage on YouTube, I highly recommend you do that. They're both really good at what they do. I did not take the paper off of the inside of this. As y'all know, if you are my regular subs, and if you're not, I hope you will be after this video. I have great subs, by the way, and I'd love to have you be a part of that great group. Anywho, my regulars know I like the distressed look. And I was kind of hoping that this paper would get wet from the paint and then be able to peel some of it back, but it actually was stuck really good, and that didn't happen, but it's okay. I love how it turned out. I cannot wait for you guys to see how I'm using this in my bedroom. But before I do that, I need to decorate it. And I'm using this transfer book from IOD, whose name I do not know how to pronounce. And there's quite a few of them in their collection. This name might be Rideau or Rado. I don't know. To me, it looks like red out. Like white out is all white. Well, all these flowers are red. So red out makes sense to me. Don't it you? If you've been paying attention to this entire video, this part might make you chuckle a little bit. See my scissors I was using? They're horrible. Oh my goodness, they don't cut. So I got out my 68-cent scissors I bought on Amazon, and they actually worked this time. One of the seams on this is really loose, and there's another one that's kind of loose. So I'm using some Gorilla brand wood glue, which is our favorite. We get ours at Harbor Freight. That's where we found the best price. And I'm just making sure that it goes down into those cracks. And now I'm using this clamp that we also got at Harbor Freight. I love these kind. I don't like the kind where you have to like pull them, like a lever. That's too hard on my old fingers. So I like to just twist it until it gets as tight as I need it. I thought I would just kind of show you the process of this entire transfer set that I put down. I used the same sheet in this book, but I found a couple of different elements of the roses from different pages. I cut the stem so that it would fit on the back, and all of it would fit. I cut off some of the leaves and then I replaced them, or I put them back where I wanted them. I didn't mind if some of the things went up on the sides. I just wanted that main stem to stay on that back wall. I have put Iron Orchid Designs transfers on so many different surfaces. In fact, I did a video where I showed you 8 different surfaces. And let me tell you, when you use Cottage colors underneath your transfer, it is like a magnet. It goes on so super smooth and easily. And we just happen to have the full line of Debbie's Design Diary Cottage colors on our website at spindlemountainmercantile.com. I thought my viewers might like watching the whole process where I applied these in different layers and replaced them in different places. So I'm just going to let you watch that while I play a little music, and I will see you back here at the end of the project. Now, I don't know when we will get to the bedroom redesign, but I want to give you a little bit of a preview. So I'm going to include some of those probably in each video in the next few weeks. And the deal is we cannot spend any money. I might change that for a few basic things, like if there's a certain kind of a screw or bolt or something we need for a project, and but we're gonna really try to not even spend money on that. So we'll see what happens. Now I do have a secret weapon, and that's that my mama makes quilts. So I'm hoping that maybe we could get one more from her and we would have a lovely quilt for our new bedroom. That's maybe not so new. So did y'all have a favorite? I did, but it wasn't in this video. It was in this video, but I had to take it out because the dialogue in that went with another project that Mama and I worked on, and I want those to be together. So next Friday, watch for that. She did such a good job. I can't wait for you guys to see what she made. Y'all are so good at making comments on our channel that it's sometimes hard for me to keep up, and I just want you to know that I am going back and trying to answer everybody. We love reading your comments. Mama can't always find out where to reply, but if you do see a reply from Spindle Mountain Mama, that's her. And she does get tickled reading what y'all have to say about her. I know you love her, and she loves you too. If you have been inspired by us and want to show what you've created, we hope you will join our Facebook group at Spindle Mountain Trading Post. If you liked this video, I sure hope you will give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it on your social media. That is the very best way to help our channel grow. Until you see us again next week when we show you Mama's fabulous creations, we sure hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, we hope you are blessed. Bye.